Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight high up here and the overnight low down here. These were our key levels for the day. So I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here as we were making that little double top there. And so we have this uptrend. It's a very sharp uptrend, but it is still an uptrend. So uptrend, break. We have these couple attempts at a new high, which is very typical when an uptrend gets a break. And of course, the inverse applies to a downtrend. But when an uptrend gets a break, you can expect 2 attempts at a new high before attempting to reverse down. And after we get that second leg higher there, we do have a reversal attempt, but it's a very poor attempt. You know, we just go sideways as soon as we go under the EMA, so that's not a real reversal pattern. And you know, to the tick, this might trick someone. You know, we have this double top here, and we push into a first entry long, second entry long failure. But you know, you can't read it like that. It's just completely sideways. It doesn't matter if there's a couple ticks higher there. It's clearly just in a range. And so I would want to see a very clear push lower, 2 attempts back, forming a good failed second entry. And we just don't get that here. And I do want to quickly grab this channel here. And at first, you know, I was extending it like this, you know, like that. It started fitting okay, you know, with these attempts here. And so we push it up there. The reversal obviously fails, as you can see. You push on up, you get this higher low. It's not a very significant higher low. It's already starting to get sideways again. I would avoid it. It's right into that overnight high anyway. And then you continue sideways, you get another attempt here. And so to the tick, you have another first entry short, second entry short failure. But it's too small picture, too sideways. There's no way. And also right into that overnight high anyway. So we push on up here. You know, you're off the overnight at this point, but this EMA was holding very consistently. You have a bullish imbalance clearly. You have this trend line working up. You can't enter directly into that, so there's no short there. Now we push up, break out of the overnight high, fade back down. And so at this point, the uptrend has a break, and you can look to extend it. It didn't confirm. It only had 2 off one side, almost started fitting on, you know, continuing right there, but it only has 1 on the high. So you can look to extend it, but there is a chance that it could still try to play out typically, and that's what you see here. We get a break, we get first attempt higher, second attempt higher, but you don't want to enter right into that overnight high, so there's just no way to get in on it. And then, you know, we're forming some kind of resistance right here. You know, I just want to quickly show one more thing, because sometimes when you're looking at one part of the chart, it's easy to miss another. So what's also happening here is, let me just zoom out for a sec. So what's also happening here is, like I mentioned, we have those 2 attempts at a new high. Now you have 2 bigger picture attempts at a new high. And so you have this uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. And on that second attempt higher, it's just unable to get through the overnight high. And so that's why it starts forming that resistance right there. So the uptrend has 2 attempts to play out here. So at this point, you know, right here, if we were to rush below, this would be a good place to get a reversal pattern to go short, because this uptrend is played out with 2 attempts at a new high, and you're coming off of a key level. So if you got a reversal pattern, a failed second entry, then you could look to go short here, but we just don't get that. We continue up, we break out again. Of course, there's no way to get in on that. You don't want to enter right into the overnight high, and then this is just a first entry long right here, and also still into that. So nothing to take there, unfortunately. We just continue higher, and then I start extending the channel at that point. And so now it looks like this. We continue up. We get this correction here. It doesn't reach the EMA, and then here we get a first entry long. You don't want to take a first entry. You want to take a second entry. And then, of course, this higher low, which is also a second entry there. It's not off of the key entry point. It's not off of the EMA. Of course, we have this trend right here. You basically are just entering into the high of the day on a bad lower high. A bad higher low. It's not off of anything. It's not after a second entry. It's basically just a second entry that's not off of any kind of resistance. So there's nothing to take there. We push on up though, really continue higher. And you know, sometimes there's going to be days where it's just going up all day and you can't get in. You know, sometimes, you know, one time, you know, someone was commenting, it was a trend day, like, how'd you not get in on anything? And this was a day I didn't take any trades. And it's like, you know, sometimes there's range days I don't take anything on. Sometimes there's trend days I don't take anything on. It's just some days don't offer great setups. But anyway, so we push. Where was I exactly? I kind of lost track here. So yeah, we're pushing up. This uptrend has a break, pushing up to a new high. we're in this wider channel here and we overshoot. Now, when you get an overshoot, price tends to attempt to break, generally stronger than usual. And so it's not surprising we get a very sharp push down here. But ideally what would have happened was we get 2 legs down, retesting the key entry point. Because if you can get 2 attempts down, that's already like you're getting 2 attempts to break out. And then if you hold on the trend line, then that's the channel recovering. So even when you get an overshoot, these channels can recover and continue higher. So, but in this case here, we don't get that second leg down. We get a small second attempt down, but that's really insignificant compared to the first leg. And also by the time you get the good bar there, it's already stacking up right there. So nothing to take there from me. And then as far as right here goes, some might say, oh, you have a first entry short, second entry short failure, but you already have 2 legs up, measured move met. And then, so it's already, the way I view this right here is 2 legs up, measured move met, and then a rush below the EMA. And that it's typical to get a reversal after 2 legs up like that, measured. And so I'm not going to go long right after 2 legs up, measured, and then a rush below the EMA, because you can expect a reversal at that point. So, today was kind of unfortunate. It just kept on going up without any clear entries, at least for me. And so anyway, after we continue higher here, I tried extending this channel to up here, see how it fit. It ended up fitting pretty well. And so we continue on higher here, and then we come off the channel high, and then when you come off one side of a channel, and the same applies to ranges, you want to see 2 attempts to reach the other side before going long. And you get that here. You get first entry long, second entry long, and then you get a decent signal bar, but you are right into these range highs. Also, of course, the channel highs. It's not worth entering into. So it's just too risky. You're going through too much resistance, entering really high anyway. I would want to see deeper pullbacks anyway. But even if we could have just gotten a much smaller entry, then that would have been good. But unfortunately, we just don't get it. So we push on out again. Get a couple legs down. Same thing, you are rushing below the EMA, entering into the EMA and this, this range high right here. So it's really just not ideal. I would want to see price. I would want to see this. Let me draw it out. And this is what I was waiting for, something like this until finally which I'm kind of jumping ahead here, until we finally got it with these 2 legs down there, but then it just kept on plummeting. So anyway, but yeah, so we don't get those 2 legs down like that. We just get these 2 smaller legs down. It is off of that previous low right there. At first, the range. Let me just draw one thing out. At first, the range was like this, and then as we push lower there, we have those wicks. We can kind of match it up a little bit. And so we extend the range. It is off those range lows, but let me just draw this here. You're right into this short-term trend line and also that high right there. So there's just no way to get in on that safely. I would have liked to see 2 much bigger legs down, and then possibly getting some kind of higher low or failed second entry afterward. But anyway, we do push on up here. We get sideways again. We get this higher low, but it's already getting sideways. And at this point, since we're at the high of this small range right here, this would be a point where it's likely to get a second leg down, such as drawn out here. But we do end up pushing higher. Let me just delete this just to unclutter. So we push on up here. Overshoot again. Basically, if I extend this, it fits pretty well again. And so sometimes, when you keep getting overshoots and it overshoots, goes back in, overshoots, the new level. It's just the channel extending basically. And so we come off here, we get this push down, we get this 2-legged break. Now, usually on a 2-legged break, you won't have you won't push slightly lower, you won't make a double bottom on the from the swing of the first leg down. But in this case here, we get this 2-legged break from it, make a second leg down. And, I was hoping that after we get 2 legs down right to here, we just push back above with a failed second entry or a good higher low, and we could have gotten a long. But unfortunately, we just don't get that here. We just continue on down. We reach the key entry point. Was thinking hopefully we can get something there, but we end up pushing on through, closing out with multiple bars. Let me draw this out really quick. We have these 2 legs down, pushed on out. Unfortunately, even though we rushed back in, we still already closed out. It's into the EMA. I would just want to see a rush above, you know, like kind of like I was saying a second ago, a failed second entry or some kind of good clear high or low. But you know, we just don't get that here. We continue lower. So now we have a break of this uptrend here. I'm going to extend it just so it's clearer to see the break. So uptrend, break, pushing up to a new high. What I was thinking is I was hoping it would push up a little bit higher here so that way we could get 2 clear attempts. But you know, even this right here, as more price action forms, this will become one leg. So I'm kind of hoping we just have a big push up, then we can get 2 clear attempts down, acting as the second leg down from here. It won't be measured if it holds above, but then we could look to make a new high for this uptrend. But of course, what could also happen is a rush below and then a hold below. You know, if that happens, ideally a failed second entry long would set up. So to go short and make the second leg down and reach this measured move, because you know it's just a 2-legged break basically, and that's very common. So you know, and of course that could go down and reach the overnight high for a retest. But yeah, unfortunately, just no trades today. You know, sometimes that happens. You're gonna run into days like this, but you know, it's still a good learning day. You know, good learning with patience, I guess. But you know, that's gonna do it for this video. Hope it helped out in some kind of way, and thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.